Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. Um, wow. So I've just seen Ryan Garcia beat Emmanuel Tagoe. What a terrible fight that was. I'm not impressed. Not impressed at all with that fight. Look, that Tagoe just came to survive, really. He was back in doing marathons around the ring. And look, I knew that Golden Boy were going to match Ryan Garcia not too harshly because, he's had a lot of stuff going on outside the ring. But this guy was just, he came to survive. Now, I don't know whether they thought he was going to be that negative and that just not coming to win, because I think they were, you'd want Ryan, maybe a guy to give him a few rounds, but then eventually Ryan Garcia to look spectacular. If anything, Ryan Garcia didn't look great, because the guy didn't really allow him to look great. But I think they probably wanted someone in there that wasn't dangerous, and Tagawa wasn't dangerous because he literally had nothing in terms of offense. Like he didn't really have much in terms of being able to hurt Ryan Garcia. And I think Ryan Garcia was literally just pressuring him the whole fight. Um, and it was quite easy for him in the sense that there was not much coming back. There was not much danger for Garcia. Um, and I think that just made it like he pitched a shutout, but it was far from a great performance from Garcia. You expected more, but again, that guy was so negative. He made Ryan Garcia look kind of bad. Garcia put him down in the second round. He caught him with a good shot. I think it was a little bit of a push, and that guy was off balance, and then he caught him with a shot while he was off balance, put him down. I don't think he was hurt that much. I think later on in the fight, I don't know, I think it was the seventh or eighth round, I can't remember where it was, when he hit Tagawa with a right hand and his legs did a dip and you could clearly see he was hurt. But that guy had experience and he knew how to survive and get through it. You got to give the guy credit. The guy was able to survive and get through it. But yeah, Garcia, for me, he was loading up on his shots. And I've noticed this with Garcia. He at times gets a little bit reckless and starts loading up with his shots. He's not really a pure boxer. He's a guy that likes to come in there and destroy you with his fast hands, and he's not really a guy that comes to box. He's a guy that comes to wipe you out. And as that fight went on, I felt like he got a little bit more reckless because he was getting a little bit frustrated the fact that he couldn't get to Tagau. But that guy he was a master in how to survive. At times he did try to engage, but there was nothing behind those punches. There was nothing that was going to give Garcia any concern. And like I said, Golden Boy were always going to match Garcia in a way where this fight wasn't going to be difficult for him in that sense. But the only problem is that I just think the fight was so bad and it was such a hard watch. In the end, I don't know whether, although Garcia got the rounds, whether, I don't know. I don't really think those rounds, they do benefit because they sharpen up your tools and stuff. But I just think there wasn't a lot. What did he learn from that? How to chase a guy around the ring. Obviously he said that he's gonna, when a guy's moving around, he's got to cut off the ring better, and he's got to learn how to. I think he said how to apply the pressure better. But how many fighters at top level are gonna be running around the ring like that? Very few, I just felt like I think Sergio Mora hit the nail on the head that he wasn't jabbing enough. And also like feint to the body, then come over with a right hand. I felt like there was no plan. He was just throwing for the sake of throwing. And that's why it was easy for Tagawa to kind of, avoid and dodge the punches, because I don't think he wasn't educatedly breaking him down. There was no setting of traps. There was no like, let me feint to the body and then come up with a right hand to the top. He was just hoping one of his punches lands. And that's why I think he needs to improve. I think his boxing IQ probably needs to improve a little bit. Oh, listen, it was a shutout. The guy didn't really pose much threat. But as you move up levels, the guys will pose a threat, and they're not going to be scared of you. They're not going to be looking to just to survive and not take risks. They are going to be looking to survive. He's learned in his last fight against Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell put him down because Luke Campbell's not a guy that's going to come just to survive. He's coming to win. But that made Ryan Garcia look better as well, because Garcia, hurt Campbell and then he put him down. But I just think that there's a lot to learn for Garcia. Garcia's got a lot of fans, and a lot of fans that come onto my channel at times have given me stick, for the fact that I've said, I'm not criticizing, but critiqued him, certain things that I've seen, and listen, Garcia's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. He's definitely got the tools. He's definitely got fast hands. He's definitely got power. He throws awkward punches. At times he throws arm punches. He throws a lot of awkward punches. They are blinding, but I feel like he needs to, with an opponent like that, he probably needs to learn how to set up traps, feint, like I said, to the body, and then come over the over the head, over the top with the right hand, like Canelo did with Khan, for example. He feinted to the body, then came over the right hand, with it. Obviously that was a much higher level, a championship level fight, a top level fight. But that's what Garcia probably needs to learn. Look, he's gone back to Joe Goosen. It's going to take him time, as Sergio Moro pointed out, to get that understanding, and let's see how he looks after a couple of fights. But in terms of watching that fight, do I think Ryan Garcia should be taking a big fight? Probably not. Maybe they need to match him again against somebody a bit tougher and a bit stiffer than this. But I don't think he should be matched at championship level yet, And the other thing is that we've got to look at is that Garcia was fighting at a catchweight. He wasn't fighting 135 pounds. It was talking at the end that is he going to look to make 135? Now, 140 is also got guys that are quite big, and there's guys there at 140 that you really have to question whether Ryan Garcia would beat, So if he's not going to make 135, it's going to be difficult for Ryan Garcia. It looks difficult for Ryan Garcia at this moment in time to become a champion at any weight, at 135 and 140. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they're going to match him. Are they going to wait? See, 140s, like if Josh Taylor moves up and those belts can become vacant, right, then there's an opportunity for Ryan Garcia maybe to get a world title shot against somebody that's not a stellar name, and maybe win a world title. But there's a lot of guys at 140, man. There's a lot of guys at 140, and those guys are naturally bigger. Like, imagine him against Ramirez, or him against, because all of a sudden the power is not going to be that much of a problem at 140. Look, Tagoe took a lot of his shots quite comfortably when he did take them. So again, it's gonna be because I'm not convinced whether Ryan Garcia is a really good boxer. I think he likes to stand and trade, and he hasn't got like his feet are planted. He's not looking to box and move. He's more looking to stand and trade and hurt you with his hand speed and his power. But that can get yourself into trouble against, I think the fighter that he is, the kind of fighter that Ryan Garcia, I think he needs to box and move more, use his hand speed, get in and out. That's what I think he needs to do. But again, I think he likes to stand and, let his shots off, which probably will make him vulnerable as he moves up the levels, as we saw when he fought Campbell. Yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one because Tagoe would make anyone look bad. He came to kind of survive. But Jojo Diaz made a good point on air. He actually said that what Ryan Garcia should have done is he should have backed off and let Tagoe come to him. But that's if Tagoe would have gone to him. Do you know what I mean? Tagoe might have not gone to him. He might have not gone to him, which would have meant that we would have had a non-fight. So that might have been a good option but when he did, there was times when Tagoe stood in the middle of the ring, and even then Garcia was really struggling. Like, Garcia was struggling to catch him, and when he did catch him, Tagoe had a decent chin, and even if when he did get hurt in the fight, he was able to recoup and kind of duck and dodge punches and grab a hold. It was just a difficult fight for Ryan Garcia. It actually was a fight where I think they were trying to make Ryan Garcia look spectacular. It actually made him look bad. I don't know what Golden Boy is going to do. I personally think that Ryan Garcia, if he can make 135, should go back down to 135. because I think 140 at the minute, I think some of those guys are pretty big. Not to say Ryan Garcia is small, but I think his frame isn't that big. And also his power isn't going to be as devastating at 140 as it is going to be at 135. Uh, and he has got some ability there. If he fights someone like Cambosos, he has got speed and power that, look, he can shock those guys. Now, Ryan Garcia would probably go into those fights as underdog with all those guys. Cambosos, Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis, but he has got something there to, pull off an upset because he has got speed and power. If he catches you, he can hurt you. The fight that I would like to see is a Jojo Diaz fight. Because let's be honest, Jojo Diaz was beat quite comfortably by Devin Haney. If Ryan Garcia can't beat someone like Jojo Diaz, then for me, is he really got a career at the top level? That's the way I look at it. I don't think Jojo Diaz is a good fighter, but if you put Jojo Diaz in there with Gervonta Davis, Jojo Diaz in there with Cambosos, or we saw what he did, Devin Haney, or even Lopez, you'd expect them to beat him, So if Ryan Garcia can't beat Jojo Diaz, then I don't know really what to say. So I think that should be a next step up, really. I think maybe they can make that fight, later on in the year. But the way I look at it, Jojo Diaz is dangerous for Ryan Garcia. If you're going to fight someone like Jojo Diaz, why not just jump in with Devin Haney or the winner of Cambosos, Devin Haney? That's probably not as dangerous. I think those guys are better. But you're taking a risk fighting Diaz anyway, but there's more reward fighting the winner of that because you'll potentially have an undisputed, fight. And listen, at the end of the day, I think now there's too much emphasis on the O. There's no point of you padding up your record and going 30, 40 and 0 when you're fighting nobodies. Eventually, you're going to have to step up. Eventually, the public ain't going to demand you fighting, lower level fighters. They're going to want you to step up at championship level. And that's when we will find out how good you are. So I think Ryan Garcia really is ready for that, to fight those guys. I don't know, matching him with guys like Tagoe, what benefit is there going to be? So really, I think he's ready for that step up to fight someone like a Jojo Diaz, a Devin Haney, Cambosos. They might want to give him one more before that. But personally, I think if they look, I think he should fight Jojo Diaz. I think that's a good, perfect fight for him. He should be able to beat Jojo Diaz. If he can't beat Jojo Diaz, which by the way, I don't know if he beats Jojo Diaz, but I'm just saying if Jojo Diaz fights any of the top guys, I probably expect Jojo Diaz to lose, right? And when I mean the top guys, I mean the champions, like, Devin Haney, Teofimo, and Cambosos. I probably expect those guys to beat Jojo Diaz. So if Ryan Garcia can't beat Jojo Diaz, which I'm not banking on him beating Diaz. I won't be surprised if Diaz beats him. Then Ryan Garcia, that he's probably not at that level. But again, it's a risk because Golden Boy want to make Ryan Garcia a massive star. And a loss would be hurtful to his career. So I understand Golden Boy are in a bit of a tricky spot with Ryan Garcia because he's one of their future stars, right? And they don't want him to take a loss because that'll be devastating for his career. So I understand where they're in a bit of a difficult spot here because they've got to match him right. But we'll just have to wait and see. We just have to wait and see how this goes. Hopefully, before Oscar used to match all of his fighters tough. He used to match everyone tough, but that's probably because he had a lot of fighters. Do you understand? So Oscar De La Hoya, basically in his career, fought everyone and didn't duck and dodge away from anybody. He literally fought everyone. And he had that approach to his promotional company as well. But over the last few years, since the lot of fighters have left him and he hasn't got many fighters, I feel like he's become a lot more protective of some of his stars that he's got. Because he knows what someone like Ryan Garcia means to his company at this point. Ryan Garcia is a potential superstar. And a loss to him would mean you know, it mean that he's losing value on a very valuable asset. Because Ryan Garcia is, like I said, a potential superstar, could be massive, and a loss to him knows that it'll be damaging for his career. So I can understand why Oscar is really matching him very well, because he wants to make sure he gets it right. Because a wrong move could mean that Ryan Garcia's value goes down massively, and I don't think Oscar wants that. So it's going to be interesting to see. Look, I like Ryan Garcia. I think he's a good fighter. I think his performance could have been better, but again, the guy came to survive. Let's see how Ryan Garcia gets on with some of the other guys in the division. But leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think. It was a very poor fight. Let's be honest. It's a fight that if I hadn't stayed up, there wouldn't really be a lot to talk about, because there was just one guy surviving. There was few moments in the fight that we can talk about, but apart from that, there wasn't a lot that really happened. But yeah, leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.